सो अभी हमारा एफएमसी बूट हो गया। हम ट्राई करेंगे इस मैनेजमेंट पीसी से, ट्राई क्या करेंगे, करना यही पड़ेगा मतलब इस मैनेजमेंट पीसी से हम पहले एफएमसी को एक्सेस करेंगे। उसके लिए पहले मुझे अपने इस मैनेजमेंट पीसी को सेम सबनेट में कॉन्फ़िगर करना पड़ेगा। Let it be 100. We don't need gateway. Gateway to go. पहले हम कनेक्टिविटी चेक कर लें। पहले हम गेटवे पिन करेंगे just to verify if everything is working fine. So we have a reply from the gateway, and gateway is the VLAN, the management VLAN on the switch. Here, VLAN 100. Now let's try to ping FTD 50 or 51. भूल गया।
50 तो FMC है ना?
Yes. 51 is FTD, मतलब इसकी रीचेबिलिटी है। अभी FMC हमारा डिफॉल्ट आईपी पे होगा which is 45, तो सब चीजें रीचेबल है। Now HTTPS 192.168.45.45 default IP for FMC. Now here it will present you a certificate, which is basically a trust certificate, and we need to accept it. So this is how it looks like. This is the interface, the GUI interface for FMC. User admin ADMIN. The same username password for both FMC and FTD. Default admin username and admin with a capital, admin 123 for password. Since it is a first time boot and first time configuration, I'm going to take some time. It will ask for the password, new password. Change it here, keep it to the password which you like. I cannot resist my hunger. I have default gateway. So gateway would be 192. Host name I'll leave it to firepower. Domain I'm not configuring. DNS accepted and apply. Okay, we missed on one part, which is to change the IP. I missed it because I wanted you to look at how we configure the IP or change the IP information of the FMC after all this process. So no worries. We can also do it from CLI, but it's since it's a base Linux base, so all the Linux commands will apply. Simple. We need not to do anything on this. Sometimes it behaves like this. It takes longer than expected. I think I'm eating in front of my camera. Okay, so finally we have been able to get into the GUI of FMC. So this is the first time boot. I'm making a point again. This is the first time boot, and this is the very first page you will look into once it is configured with a changed password, DNS information, and all those stuff. And now the very first thing which we will do is to have the license. Since we are working in a lab environment, we will use the free license, which is the evolution mode. And for these devices, we will go with the smart license, not with the classic license. That is for the older versions of firepower devices. I guess 9000 series or something. But since we are managing the new devices, it will go with the smart license. Since ये क्योंकि फर्स्ट टाइम बूट है ये टाइम लेता है सो इवोल्यूशन मोड को इनेबल करने के लिए we'll go into the system and then with the license, smart license. Please do not play around because जब मैंने initially किया था बहुत play around हो गया था license के साथ and I was totally messed up. Just go into the license, smart license, and here you will find a tab that says evaluation. So basically most of the features, 90% of the features are enabled here. So click on evaluation mode. You have a message which says this is valid for 90 days. जिसको प्रोडक्ट फुल फंक्शनलिटी मिलेगी हमें यहाँ पर। और अगर रजिस्टर करना हो उसका प्रोसेस डिफरेंट है, वो हम बाद में डिस्कस करेंगे। सो स्टार्ट विद इवैल्यूएशन पीएस। सो नाउ इवैल्यूएशन पीरियड स्टार्ट हो गया, 89 डेज लेफ्ट हैं। और अगर आप इसमें देखो तो स्मार्ट लाइसेंस की 3 बेसिक फंक्शनलिटी है, बेसिकली 5 होंगी लेकिन यहाँ पर 3 दिखेंगे। ओके, तो ये है फंक्शनलिटी। राइट, नाउ we will change the IP address first. System configuration. So first we need to configure the IP. So on the left hand side, these are the control options for FMC. These are only relevant to FMC. Okay, we need to go to management interface. Sometimes it makes me sleepy. So we click from system, get into the configuration, and then management interface. If you look on this side, we need to edit the IP address. Enable channel management interface, event traffic. Look at those configurations. Since we are statically defining the IP address here, so static, leave it on static. We, as per our network diagram, we have .50. So make it 50. Okay. And save. Since our IP information has changed, so we need to log in again to the FMC with a different IP, which is 50. And if you remember, we added a manager on FTD with the same IP. .192.168.45.50. So now we got our IP in place. We have the evaluation mode enabled. And now this is the time to register the FTD with FMC. let's verify on FTD first, which is show managers. See, we have this information 192.168.45.50. Registration is still pending because we are configuring it. How to do the registration? Get into the devices and device management. It gives us these kind of message on the screen, but not worry about it. Not to worry. So now here we will add the FTD to FMC, and for that we need to enable some traffic so that the registration traffic which is coming from FTD to FMC could basically communicate, right? And now add the device. We are not doing any high availability as of now. So, okay, here we need to mention the IP address of our FTD. And IP was 192.168.35.51.
एक कॉल आ रही है.
So IP address is 4551. You can opt for any name you like. I will go with FTD1. Registration key, if you remember, it was welcome 123. Group, as of now, no grouping, nothing. Just a simple device addition. So here is the control policy which I was talking about. We need to create a policy. Name the policy. Access description. You can type in any description if you want. Leave it none. And now you take a small attention towards these options which we have. The very first is block all traffic, intrusion prevention, network discovery. So for now we are opting for block all traffic except the traffic which is relevant for the registration. And how we are accepting that? There is a policy again prior to this policy in the logical overview, which we'll discuss again. So for now, block all traffic, and we will discuss rest of the things later. Smart licensing, malware, threat. I'm gonna enable it. It is not mandatory, but I'm just doing it. And now, with all this information and access policy in place, I will click on register. It may take 5 minutes. 5 minutes. In the meanwhile, we can check on FTD what's happening on FTD. See, state has changed. Earlier it was just pending, and now type is manager, host is here. Status is still pending because it's under process. You can have just keep a watch on it. That's it. If you want, not really mandatory. Okay, we have a message here. If you look on the FMC, it is registered. Now let's see what it says on the CLI. Discovery is still in the progress. Registration completed. So this is how you verify it. Most of the part has been completed, but still FMC is doing some verifications or progress with this. So this is a brief how we add FTD with FMC. And going further, it will have like certain routing configuration, some policies, interzone communications, netting, and VPN. So these are the basic functionality which we can discuss later. Let's wait for another 1 or 2 minutes. Let it be completed. So the screen which we are looking at right now, it just says that out of this is a plane where all the registered FTDs would reflect. But as of now, we have only one FTD. So this is only one entry which we have on the screen. Earlier, if you had one more or more FTDs, they will be enlisted here. And talking about ACP, ACP is kind of a policy package, you can say. One ACP could reflect on multiple FTDs. Means if there is a certain condition, certain configuration, which is common for many FTD, you can basically configure one access policy and push it to those FTDs which are supposed to have common configuration. But one FTD will be a part of one ACP. Always. One FTD, one ACP, always. Okay. Reloading list. So this is the process of registration completed. And now when you click on edit, you get into the interfaces of FTD. This is how you're gonna manage your FTD. If you go out once again, device management. This is a place where all the FTDs would be enlisted, and if you want to configure, reconfigure, or make some changes on FTD, you need to select the FTD and click on edit. So these are the interfaces which we will configure.